Sunday. My son and I would call this Lazy Sunday. It's Sunday where I am. Stop. 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 Fat boy, chill. So it's Lazy Sunday. Happy Lazy Sunday, everyone. We're going to do our opening meditation for Chakra 7. Can you chill, please? Can you chill? Can you chill, please? Try. Okay? Okay? Try and chill out. Chakra 7, thought. Opening meditation. You have gone on a journey. You have touched, you have tasted, you have seen, and you have heard. You have loved and lost and loved again. You have learned. You have grown. You have arrived at your destination intact. And now, at the end of the journey, you are almost home. But there is one step left, the biggest and the smallest of them all. It is the biggest, for it takes us the farthest. It is the smallest, because we are already there. There is one more door to open, and it contains the key to all that lies beyond. You hold that key, but you cannot see it. It is not a thing. It is not a way. It is a mystery. Allow yourself to review the places you have gone, remembering the touch of flesh to earth, the flow of movement and power, the song of love in your heart. The memories imprinted in your mind. Who is it that remembers? Who has traveled on this journey? Is it your body? Then what has guided you? What is it that has grown? Through what have you traveled? You now would hold that key that can't be seen. Who now would hold that key that cannot be seen? The key that cannot lock. The answer to this is the key itself. All wisdom is within you. Nothing is beyond you. The kingdom is before you, within you, around you. It is in your mind, which is but one mind in a sea of many, connected, contained, intelligent, divine. It is the seat of the gods, the pattern of creation, the immensity of the infinite, the endless unfolding petals of the lotus, fully blooming and connected all the way to earth. We find it in our thoughts, beyond form, beyond sound, beyond light, beyond space, beyond time. Our thoughts flow. Below, behind, above, around, and through, our thoughts flow. Within, without, before, and after, our thoughts flow. Droplets in an endless sea. The song of mind is infinite. We have come full circle, and the pattern is complete. We are the thoughts that make the pattern. We are the pattern that make the thoughts. All right, hold on. From whence do our thoughts arise? Where do they go when they rest? And who is it that perceives them? Deep within ourselves, we find a place to open up our mind. Through starry heavens ever climbing, matter's solid threads unbinding. Out beyond far heaven's veil, the Father rules the starlit trail. In patterns bright, perceived by sight, our thoughts turn over day through night. Through our thinking, never linking, winding, weaving, wisdom's webs. Ancient patterns, flows and ebbs. Auspicious Shiva, Lord of sleep, your meditations bring us deep to ancient wisdom found within, a sacred place where we begin. An ending, here we shall return, reconnect we have learned, to know divinity inside and bring it forth with honored pride. The key within our minds we hold, to mysteries we shall unfold. Gateway to the worlds beyond, in sacred space and peace we bond. So that's the meditation for Chakra 7. And I'm going to read today about transcendence and eminence. When consciousness is released from the thousands of mental, vital, physical vibrations in which it lies buried, there is joy. Sri Aurobindo. The crown chakra is a meeting point between finite and infinite, mortal and divine, temporal and timeless. It is the gateway through which we expand beyond our own personal self, beyond the limits of space, time, and experience premortal unity and transcendent bliss. It is also the point at which divine consciousness enters the body and descends, bringing awareness to all the chakras, giving us the means to operate in the world around us. We have described these two currents as creating two types of consciousness, cognitive and transcendent. In addition, the two currents produce two different but complementary spiritual states: the transcendent and the eminent. Once again, it is the ascending current that brings us liberation, and the descending current that brings us manifestation. To have a true theory of wholeness, one needs to cultivate both. As we have worked our way through the 7 levels of awareness related to each chakra, we have progressively transcended limitation, short-sightedness, immediacy, pain, and suffering. Fat boy, leave your mom alone. Leave her alone. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is the direction most emphasized in Eastern thought, when the practice and philosophies of yoga compromising the essential gateway to universal consciousness. Pain and suffering, it is believed, occur through false identification with elements of the finite world. I like that sentence. I'm going to read it again. Pain and suffering, it is believed, occur through false identification with elements of the finite world and obscure the ultimate reality of the infinite. It is attachment to limitation that forms obstacles to our spiritual growth. It is attachment to limitation that forms obstacles to our spiritual growth. Hence, attachment is the primary demon of the crown chakra. Interesting. The most characteristic quality of transcendent consciousness is its emptiness. Therefore, we enter it by letting go of attachment. Transcendence carries us beyond the ordinary to the broad expanse of unity. The observer is participant. There is no separation between self and the world, and no sense of time. Just as the emptiness of a cup allows it to be filled, the emptiness of our minds allows a clear channel through which to experience transcendence. Transcendence brings liberation from the traps of illusion so that we can enter into a state of bliss and freedom. It is generally the ego that forms these attachments to maintain its sense of selfhood and safety. But that self is a smaller, more limited self, apart from the underlying unity of consciousness from which we are made. The descending current of consciousness, having divine realization at its origin, brings eminence. Eminence is the awareness of the divine within, where transcendence is the awareness of the divine without. Eminence brings us intelligence, illumination, inspiration, radiance, power, connection, and finally, manifestation. True self-knowledge is to understand that transcendence and eminence are complementary, and that inner and outer worlds are indelibly one. While the liberating current brings us liberation or mukti, it is the descending current that brings enjoyment or bhukti. As stated in Arthur Avalon's Serpent Power, the most fastidious translation of tantric texts on the chakras, one of the cardinal principles of the Sakti Tantra is to secure by its sadhana both liberation and enjoyment. This is possible by the identification of the self when enjoyment with the soul of the world. This is possible by the identification of the self when in enjoyment with the soul of the world. Okay. Just as the Muladhara chakra is both the source point of the rising Kundalini and the place where we press our roots deep into the ground, the Sahasrara is the origin of all manifestation and the gateway to the beyond. Transcendence and eminence are not mutually exclusive. They represent the basic oscillations of consciousness, then the inhale and exhale of the crown chakra, the entry and exit point of human life. Meditation, the key to the lotus. Gracious One, pray your head is an empty shell wherein your mind frolics infinitely. Old Sanskrit proverb. It's beautiful. Gracious One, pray your head is an empty shell wherein your mind frolics infinitely. There is no greater practice for developing the seventh chakra than meditation. It is the very act through which consciousness realizes itself. It is as essential to nourishing the spirit as eating and rest are to the body. There are countless techniques for meditation. You can regulate your breath, intone mantras, visualize colors, shapes, or deities. Move energy through your chakras, walk or move with awareness, hook yourself up to a brain machine, or just stare blankly in front of you. To be worthwhile, all of these forms must have one thing in common. They must enhance, soothe, and harmonize the vibrational aspects of the mind and body, cleansing the mind of its habitual clutter. We take it for granted that we need to take showers, clean our houses, and wash our clothes. We'd be uncomfortable if we didn't, to say nothing of being the object of social criticism. Yet the mind and its thoughts need cleansing, perhaps even more than our bodies. The mind works longer, encounters wider dimensions, and runs the operating system of our life as well. While few of us would consider eating dinner on yesterday's dirty dishes, we think nothing of tackling a new problem with yesterday's cluttered mind. No wonder we feel tired, confused, and ignorant. Meditation is both an end and a means. We may achieve better clarity. My dog. I just got him a new toy, and he is being a wild one. With your new toy. Yes, you're being wild. I'm sorry, I stopped reading. I just got distracted. Can you move your head, please? Got distracted because he's so frisky. He's a frisky one. Okay. Okay, meditation is both an ends and a means. We may achieve better clarity, mood elevation, or simply better physical coordination. But the mind, as an inseparable commander of all else, deserves the best treatment we can give it. Amen. As the seventh chakra exists in the dimension of withness, meditation is the key to that inner world. Through meditation, we can systematically tune out the outside world and cultivate sensitivity to the inner. Through that sensitivity, we can then enter the point of singularity, which connects all things. We are the vortex of all that we experience. At the center of that vortex lies understanding. Through harmonization of our bodies, breath, and thoughts, we can line up our chakras and perceive the unifying essence of all creation. But this is not an alignment of physical reality as much as it is an inner alignment of archetypical energies, the spiritual alignment with the underlying unity we have come to discover within each chakra. But what exactly does meditation do? What are the physiological effects, psychological states, and resulting benefits? And why is this strange practice of doing nothing so valuable? The widespread practice of TM, or Transcendental Meditation, as taught by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, has enabled some systematic study of mental and physical effects over a wide variety of subjects. Transcendental meditation, as taught by the TM Association, involves the simple practice of spending 20 minutes twice a day, sitting quietly and internally uttering a mantra. given to the meditator by the teacher. There are no strange postures, breathing patterns, or dietary recommendations, making this practice easy to learn and easy to study. The most noteworthy finding of these studies seemed to show up in the EEG measuring of the brainwave patterns. In ordinary waking consciousness, brain waves are random and chaotic, and most commonly in the beta frequency. The two hemispheres of the brain may generate different wavelengths, and there may be further differences from the front to the back of the brain as well. Meditation changes this dramatically. Immediately upon beginning, the meditation subjects showed increased alpha waves, brain waves characteristic of a relaxed state of mind, which began at the back of the brain and moved forward. After a few minutes, the alpha waves increased in amplitude. The back and the front of the brain became synchronized in phase, as did the left and right hemispheres. The resonance continued, and in many cases, theta waves appeared, a deeper state than alpha, especially in those more experienced with the practice. In the most advanced meditators, alpha was found to occur more frequently in a normal waking state and with greater amplitude. With these people, theta was more prevalent during meditation and even occurred during normal waking states. Meditation has physiological effects as well. Oxygen intake decreased by 16 to 18%. Heart rate decreased by 25%, and blood pressure was lowered, all of which are controlled by the autonomic nervous system, the controller of involuntary processes. This allows the body to enter a state of deep rest, far deeper than what it receives in sleep. The rest then allows for greater alertness in waking consciousness. It is interesting to note that while meditators do enter a state of deep rest, the attention awareness increases rather than decreases. When a sound was produced periodically to a non-meditator, the brain waves showed a gradual acclimation to the noise, less and less reaction until it was effectively tuned out. The meditator, on the other hand, while meditating, reacted freshly to the sound each time it was made. Therefore, while the body diminishes all its activities, the mind is essentially released from the body's limitations and freer to expand to new horizons. It is suggested that meditation destimulates the cerebral cortex and the limbic system, and through brainwave resonance heals the split between the old and new brain. This split has been suspected to be caused of alienated emotional states and schizoid behavior, difficulties particular to humans and essentially non-existent in animals. Better coordination between two hemispheres can also lead to increased cognitive and perceptual ability. And the psychological effects, aside from a general feeling of relaxation, inner peace, and increased well-being, meditators were found to have improved academic performance, increased job satisfaction and production, a decrease in drug use, both prescription and recreational, and faster reaction times. All this from simply sitting still and doing nothing. In the face of this evidence, it is hard to deny that meditation has great rewards. Who wouldn't want greater health, mood elevation, and increased performance? And all that for a practice that costs nothing, requires no equipment, and can be done anywhere. Yet why is it that so few people actually do take the time to meditate, and that even those who do find it difficult to practice as often as they would like to? We have spoken of rhythms, resonance, and morphogenic fields, and how all three of them tend to perpetuate themselves just as they are. In a world whose vibrational level is largely oriented around the first three chakras, placing greater value on materiality, it is difficult to find the time, validation, and even desire to go off and enter a different wavelength, especially one whose reward is so subjective. The idea that one should meditate, added to the thousands of other shoulds hammering on us each day, can almost make the practice repugnant. Yet, true meditation is a state of mind, not an effort. Once the state is achieved a few times, it begins to create its own self-perpetuating rhythms, its own morphogenetic field, its own effect on the vibrations around us. Then it becomes an integral part of life, staying with us through waking consciousness, sleep, and all other activities. At this point, meditation becomes a joy, not a discipline. But until then, we can only describe the effects and hope they are enough to fire the will's curiosity. At least the price is right. Okay, so that's that. Tomorrow I'll read about meditation techniques. All right. Good stuff. Have a blessed Sunday, everyone. Look for the miracles. Like this one. This is my miracle. Come here, fat boy. This is my little miracle. One of my little miracles. Ew. Miracle 1. Miracle 2. Sarah. Cece. That's fat boy's mom. All right. Out of here.